All right, the new stuff. I want to see the new things. Power plus, maybe. Thanks, beggar. Artillery, Ballista. That looks fucking sick. Split arrow plus Ballista support. Nice. Rain of arrows plus Ballista support. I need to read up about this Ballista stuff. As part of Conquerors of the Atlas expansion, we're doing a full review of bow skills and other mechanics that influence bow balance. Ranged attack totems have been underutilized for a while, and we've made some significant changes to the core mechanics as well as adding some interesting new abilities which are unique to the archetype. Ranged attack totem skills are now called Ballistas, with the existing support gem being renamed to Ballista Totem. No more rat. All Ballista skills start with 3 maximum totems, as does Ballista Totem support. Nice. Ballista totems plays much faster than other totems, letting you quickly deploy your full power. That's hot. Ballistas are all placed quite close to your character now. This makes your positioning important. However, isn't a large disadvantage, as most of the ballistas have a long firing range. It's a pretty fucking big disadvantage, because if you place something next to you, you get AoE shotgun. I understand that GGG thinks that it doesn't exist anymore, but it's there. It's like you put down a totem, you get hit by 10 exploding projectiles. It's not a good thing. You're absolutely fucked by chain. No, thank you. That's spooky, man. New passives have been added to the passive tree specific to ballistas and other attack totems, letting you gain additional ballista totems. That's sick. I'm always such a huge fan of putting more shit on the skill tree, because the more shit there is on the skill tree, the more you have to specialize into it and give up other things. By putting more shit, it's like the core way of balancing PoE, which is having trade-offs, and I really like that. I always, whenever there's a problem, I'm always just like, put more shit on the skill tree, and I like it. Very nice. It got to the point where nobody wants to take life nodes anymore, but but who cares about that? Shrapnel Ballista is the new low-level bow totem. I can see it being really strong, man. Holy Fire totem is really powerful for leveling. People are really sleeping on it. I don't know. There was like a little bit of a meta with people using it a little bit more, but it's really strong. The only downside obviously being the one slot, but you can play around it. An enemy can be hit by multiple projectiles from a single shot. So more shotgunning. Come on, bro. This makes the skill deadly when up close to enemies. Cool. The skill has a small amount of added physical damage. Very good. Making the skill more reliable while leveling. This shit's gonna be fucking strong. I can tell you right now, for sure. Additional projectiles further multiply the damage. Use it to take down a boss quickly or place multiple to create a line of defense that destroys any enemy that approaches. For sure, this skill is gonna be nice. Artillery Ballista is a new level 28 skill. It fires up a series of arrows that rains down in a line with all damage converted to fire. It looks at the position of nearby monsters and intelligently rains down its arrows in a diagonal line that would hit as many enemies as possible, making it very efficient at clearing spread out enemies, as well as dealing multiple hits to targets. I love shit like this. This is why I love Chain, because it's got that same smartness to it. I love it. This sounds really cool. It's a 5-hit totem. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I like that a lot. I think it's gonna be great. And I like totems. I wish I would get to play more totems. It's like totems are kind of unnecessary nowadays, which is unfortunate. Ensnaring Arrow is a new bow utility skill that fires a single arrow. When it hits and doesn't pass through an enemy, a rope shoots into the ground, pinning that monster to that point. If they try to move from the point, they're greatly slowed. An enemy can have up to 3 ropes attached to it, each applying a separate speed multiplier. I like that. That sounds cool. Just the slow alone might not be enough though. I don't know. Could have some sort of like damage multiplier on it too. BDSM arrow? In addition to the slow, it also increases projectile attack damage taken. My man. It makes enemies always count as moving. Nice. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's a cool one. I'm a big fan of utility skills like that. I'm just a big fan of... I always really like totems and summons because you would get to use so many different abilities, and more GGG is introducing multiple buttons for characters. So especially for totems, that's like super spicy. The more buttons, the better. That's why I'm a big fan of the new skill system, because you're actually gonna have more buttons to click, and it's not like a one button game. And I love it. I want more buttons. And I guess something worthwhile talking about as well is this whole whatever this is, you know? Pretty interesting, huh? Many people are probably wondering in regards to the casting that they're doing, and I can tell you for a fact that I will absolutely not fucking do the casting. We are gaming, boys. We are gamers. I might not be a boss killer, but this, mine. This, mine. All these, mine. All mine. This also, mine. It's all mine. I'm gonna get it. That's the plan. It's probably gonna go pretty well. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, because like there's a bunch of options in terms of like the boss killer, right? Because you want to be quick and you also want to not die. The only thing that sucks about this event is the fact that you can practice. I think that's shit. I hate it. I don't know. I'm thinking about like talking all the streamers into some sort of agreement that there's no practicing on softcore, because that's the one thing that's like because people are just going to go on softcore and practice a whole bunch before they do the fight. And yeah, I think watching videos and stuff is fine, right? Just not doing it yourself. But people are definitely gonna do that, so that's the only thing that's like super discouraging for me about this. But it's not discouraging enough to not try my hardest, so I'll try and do it without practice. I'll definitely watch some videos. Hopefully there's going to be some content on it by the time we roll around to it. I think it's going to take a long time to finish all of this stuff. So yeah. Yeah, but it like defeats the purpose of it. I don't know. I want it to be a YOLO experience. Some streamers are already teaming up, so one or two will progress through standard just so he can practice. I won't say who though. Yeah. See, that's the thing that I thought about immediately when I saw this. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking SSF event. Like, come on, bruh. Come on. You know, I'll try my fucking hardest, but I'm a shitty boss killer, and yeah, I also refuse to do the practice stuff. It's just not in the spirit of what I want it to be. It was the same problem for me with the Shaper race, and why I was so discouraged from like everybody was like, oh, Shaper race, and I was like, I wasn't interested at all. But then people were doing it, so I was like, I'm gonna do it, and then I did it. So yeah, in terms of builds, there's obviously a couple options. There's many options, but I don't know. I feel like going out of my comfort zone, which is like a summoner and probably a miner right now, would be not a smart thing to do, especially since again I don't do boss killing, and when I did do boss killing, it was primarily with summoners. But summoners are probably gonna get nerfed, first of all. A second, I think miners might get nerfed too, so it's gonna be tricky. And also with summoners, it's like if you don't know the fight well, there's a lot of potential for just getting, you know, shotgun butt fucked. And I'm not gonna know the fight well, but maybe it's not gonna have those sort of mechanics. And the worst part about it is that, yeah, playing a bow is just not smart at all, which sucks because I really wanted to start explosive arrow, but hey, what can you do? This sort of race would be genuinely super boring on softcore. I don't think it would be super boring. I just think that like all of it would be fun, okay? I just think that this is by far the best way to do it, just because there's no like shitty way around things, you know? There's no way to bullshit. There's no way to group up with other people and get carried through it. And people do that shit all the time. I mean, even like the The freaking card stuff at ExileCon, people grouped up and cheesed Chris, and that's why there were 50 people killing it instead of the 5 that they anticipated, and all this sort of stuff, right? It's just better if it's a single person, and it's also more competition, right? Instead of having 10 groups of 5 people, you're gonna have 50 individuals, and that's just more fun.